So hey, all right, everybody. I had to get up and do another one. I was gonna get some sleep after the first part. This will be part 28, chapter 2, or part 2. But I got riled up over. Ain't that a word there? I got riled up. Anyway, just thinking about what they're doing to the society and some of the things our leaders are doing got me kind of amped up. And then I think I didn't finish some thoughts there. The woman and the beast, and the beast burns the woman with fire. So if you think of 9/11, you know, if it was the Mossad and Israel behind that, then that would make them part of the beast, and the United States, the woman who was kind of controlling the beast, and the beast became angry with the woman. Could be something else too, could have been, maybe Israel didn't have nothing to do with it. Maybe it was a conglomeration of some European nations, and they wanted us to get involved and do all these things in the Middle East. Who knows? Well, Allah knows, and I'm guessing a lot of the politicians and intelligence agencies around the world know. And whether or not that's what that scripture is about, Allah knows best. I hate to think America will be on the side of evil in the end times, but you never know. So anyway, I wanted to go over that, and then these things, this AOC and these other Democrats, you got this guy Meatless Mondays for school children to cut down. Number one, there's still going to be just as many cows, okay? Just because you're not going to serve meat in the lunchrooms at school doesn't mean the cattlemen are going to suddenly cut production. There's plenty of market for beef out there. So, and if you want to do something, if you think it's really emissions and stuff like that causing global warming, here's a clue. All right, like I said before, improve the building codes for all new buildings after a certain date. You can't make people who already have things planned or already started go through an extra whole bunch of expense to meet your things. But if it's something that hasn't been planned or hasn't been started or anything, set a date, starting in 2022 or whenever, all new buildings will have to meet this code. And then also, like these homes that people flip, all homes, after this date that, are remodeled or rebuilt and stuff will also have to meet this new code. Now, allowing people who flip houses, that's going to be extra expense and all this, but it'll also be a marketing point for you. Here, this house meets all the new codes. It'll sell quicker. So you can do those things, but here's a clue, AOC and Meatless Monday guy. The convicts in our prisons eat better than our school children, and in many cases even eat, better than many of our veterans do, who are scraping by, who have disabilities and stuff. So here you go. Every prison and jail in the United States goes on a vegetarian diet. If they want meat, they have to work at a prison or a jail job, earn money, and buy the meat or any extras, sweets, Twinkies, whatever, through a store, a commissary at the prison or the jail. And they can get money from their families so they can buy it. But you got to think about it. Convicts in this country have it better than our school children. A lot of school children, the only meal they get is their school lunch. Do you understand how backwards this is? How backwards they made our society? Convicts in prison and stuff, they get their three square meals a day, and it better be what the social justice warriors say is fair treatment for them, and the human rights people. Meanwhile, the school kid, piss on him. But these convicts, they get their 3 squares, they get free medical and dental. Well, no more of that. You're on a vegetarian diet unless you work a job in the prison and earn money to buy the meat, or your family provides the money to you and you can buy it from the store. And that store will not be a discounted store. It'll be run for profit. Part of the profits will go to funds for victims of crime. Another part will go to fallen officers and first responders charities. And then the other part, if it's a private run company, the state contracts it out to a private business, then the rest of the profit they get to keep. If the state runs the store, then the rest of the profit goes into the budget to pay for police officers and to pay for corrections officers. You understand? There you go. Instead of depriving some school kid of having a hamburger on Monday, there you go. No more meat in the prisons. You got it? There's a solution for you. It's not rocket science, people. All these politicians and stuff and everything, you got to come up with all kinds of crazy horse shit instead of, it's meat and potatoes. It's not rocket science, all right? You look at a problem, hey, what can we do about that? Let's tear down every building in the United States. Are you kidding me? Apparently AOC and these other Democrats never have to travel on our highways. Okay? AOC's up there in New York. She ever tried to cross the GW? She ever see the congestion up there and how traffic snarls and everything up there? New York and other cities at some point are going to have to use eminent domain and pay people and businesses to move to where certain parts of the roadways can be widened and expanded. Number 2 up there, as far as New York and everything, all that traffic trying to get to Long Island has to pass right through the city. Why don't you see if it's possible to build a bridge tunnel system from Jersey out to Long Island, just like you have the bridge tunnel thing across Chesapeake Bay down there between Maryland and Virginia, or is it Delaware? Anyway, I forget. Yeah. Anyway, quite an engineering feat there if you've never been on it. Could be better. It's pretty damn narrow, but still quite a feat. But if you had something like that going to Long Island and you weren't trying to squeeze all that traffic across the GW, or the Narrows or any of the other ones, which, by the way, you could probably rebuild, or you wouldn't even have to rebuild the Narrows bridge, but you could make another one and make it a little wider, and also have another bridge there, because if you've ever driven across that bridge in a truck and tried to stay in the right lane, and had traffic coming up on next to you on the left and everything, pretty dicey. But anyhow, these people need to, they live in an abstract land. I mean, they're not out here dealing with the everyday that we, normal people do, and especially the truck drivers do. They want to see how illegal immigration is hurting the country. Take a ride with a driver for 6 months or so. Go to these job sites and these warehouses and these manufacturing plants and look around at the people working in there. And you'll see an awful lot of them. You are not going to see anybody, white or black, that speak English. You understand? So you want to try and say they're just coming to pick fruit and be maids and stuff? You're full of shit. You live in La La Land. You haven't been out here. You haven't been across this country and seen it. And I get it. I understand. If I would live down there in poverty and everything, hey, I'd want to come up here and try and get a job and everything too. I get that. But the thing is, and then we're called evil and racist and everything because we're objecting to it. But and how selfish we are and all this. And it's like, hey, we got to take care of our families too, you know. And we're supposed to have sympathy for these other people who want to take care of their families and stuff and everything. And it's like, but no one's got no sympathy for us. You know, they can pull the rug right out from under our feet, and we can lose everything we've got, and that's supposed to be okay. Because some politician wants to look like they care about people. So what I have and everything can be flushed right down the toilet, and everything I worked for can just be, you know, I can have the rug pulled right out from under my feet. Every American can have everything they worked for pulled right out from under their feet, so the Democratic Party can look like they care about people. And oh man, do they scream, oh, these families with these children and everything, but then they won't even take a stand to save the life of a baby after it's been born. They tried to commit an abortion on it. The baby survives and is born, and they, you know, Congress, the Republicans wanted to pass a law saying you can't kill that child. Once it's born, you cannot do that. And the Democrats would not even. Do you see how full of horseshit and hypocritical? You got to pay attention, folks. Don't be naive. Look at these people. They're lunatics. They're talking out of both sides of their mouths. I'm not saying the Republicans don't do the same stuff on a lot of things, but these Democrats, they've lost it. They have freaking lost it. All right? They won't save a newborn baby. You know, it's all right for that doctor to go ahead and kill that baby, and how you can call yourself a doctor and break your oath of do no harm and kill an infant that's born, I have no idea. It's pretty macabre if you ask me. But they won't do anything to save that child. But then if you restrain a family with children at the border trying to get in the country illegally, you're evil. You're freaking evil. Even though that child's going to get food and medical attention and everything like that, you're evil for restraining that family and that child. But go kill this baby that survived an abortion. Wake up, America. You need to wake up and take a stand. You can't be apathetic anymore. You can't just be, oh, well, you know, what are you going to do? You have to take a stand. So anyway, these Democrats, and granted a lot of Republicans too, just they don't deal with normal life at all anymore once they get into office, and who knows if they did beforehand. Some of them come from privileged families, you know, and this and that, and you know, never had to work, never had a business, anything like that. But go to Portland and Seattle, Los Angeles, San Francisco, New York, any of the major cities, and see the congestion. Just see the congestion. Now, you want to do something about emissions? Here's an idea. Fix the roads. Like up there in the Bay Area. What do you got? You got the 101 coming up or down, you know, depending which way you're coming into the Bay. But most of that traffic coming up the 101, which comes off the 5. A lot of it comes off the 5 and runs over there off of, was it 52, 56 or whatever, out through Gilroy and that. Everything over to the 101. You got the 80 going in, and then you know, you got the 580, is it 580, 280? That going in from Tracy there. Pretty much that's it. Why can't there be a car-only parkway up through those hills and stuff from the 5, or that works its way over up into that Bay Area, and you would leave a lot of the traffic, you know, coming from Tracy and stuff. And here's my other idea. A lot of these cities, motorcycle parkways. Roadways built through and around the cities with a loop or whatever, and stuff like this. Motorcycles only. There's already a lot of, you know, you look at LA, how many times you got the motorcycle riders squeezing between, you know, vehicles on the freeway and stuff. And then they get mad if you don't see them, and you know, they almost hit your mirror or some shit. I don't know how many of them I've seen kick cars and shit like that, or turn around and give people the finger and stuff. So you'd have roadways, motorcycle parkways, motorcycles only. I'm not saying it would cause any less deaths, because no, motorcycle riders, they would ride like hell on the damn things, like it's the Autobahn, and you would have accidents that way. But you wouldn't have any more, or you'd have less accidents with, cars and trucks involving motorcycles. And if a lot more people started, if that was an easier, quicker way to commute, a lot more people will give up their cars and get a motorcycle and take the motorcycle parkway to get around the city, instead of their car out there on the freeway jamming up rush hour traffic. So there's another idea on that. But these people, you need to look at what the problems. What are the real problems, and what can you do, instead of these grandiose things of let's rebuild every building in the United States. Are you kidding me? You can start with a building code. All new buildings after this point must have, better insulation, water conservation features. I do not know. I see solar. I see a lot of it working and stuff. I do not know, the cost and the maintenance and everything like that, to where you should say, and every new home should have, 20% of its power from solar or anything. I don't have that kind of knowledge to say whether that would be a wise thing to do or not. Sure, on the surface it looks good, but what's the math? That's what people got to do. What's it going to cost somebody? What's it? And if you make all these solar panels, are you contributing to greenhouse gases? Are they get the what kind of energy and stuff like that goes into making them? It's the same with electric cars. Electric cars, electric trucks, and the self-driving shit. And it's going to be the answer. Wrong answer. That I know enough about that. You think about it. If you make every truck and every car in the United States electric, you are going to have one freaking headache that you never dreamed of. I guarantee it. You're going to have to generate so much more electricity. It's unfreaking believable. I don't think anyone's even done the math, the calculations, the astounding amount of electricity you will have to generate. And then think about it, and there's growth. So in the future, it's going to be multiplied even more and more. And what do you do with all these batteries and everything? So, and they're all lithium, which is not a good thing. Lithium's toxic. So, and the solar panels, I know, employ benzene and other things like that. So, there's no free lunch, folks. And these people coming, and that's why competition and free market and free enterprise and all that thing is a good thing, because it's like water. Water finds the path of least resistance, and so do things in business and stuff. What's economical, what works best, and everything like that. And that's the way it should be. Can we squeeze more miles per gallon out of these trucks? I'm sure they're going to get some more out. Can cars and stuff? Yeah. Can we do other things like making less stop and go driving? Yes, we can do that. Ease the congestion in our cities, less stop and go driving? Yes, we can do that. Bypasses? Yes, we can do that. So many things that can be done, but instead of them doing them, hands-on, nuts and bolts, let's tackle the problem. Here's what we can do. Let's dream up all this horse shit of no more airplanes. We'll build all these railroads. We'll rebuild every building in the United States. You people are lunatics. You've got no concept of just freaking reality. What you can do, what's feasible, what's going to work. Have you thought it through? Have you really? Okay. Let's see. Nuclear power. You got no emissions. You got the other dangers and stuff. Would that be a more feasible thing to reduce our carbon? I don't know. Would it make the price of electricity go up? Eventually, sure, if you got rid of all the other competition. Nuclear power plants are not cheap, and once they're built, these companies who build them, to make a profit, it's the refueling of a nuclear plant where the money is. There's not enough of them built to where, like GE and these companies who make them, can sustain just off of that. So they're the ones who will provide the fuel, because that the fuel gets spent. It doesn't last forever. It has to be refueled, and those pellets are where the money is at. So natural gas goes by pipeline. You're going to have to put pipelines all over the place. Is it cleaner than coal and all that? From what you hear in the mainstream, yes, it is. Do I know that for a fact? No, I don't. But anyhow, I'm sure there's a downside to natural gas and things. You're going to have a risk of explosion, etc. Moving all that natural gas around by pipeline or by rail car stuff. And if you get rid of all the coal and you got natural gas moving by pipeline, it's going to hurt the railroads a little. Actually, a lot. And coal's a big part of their business. But surely all the coal miners and everything, they could go to work in natural gas industries and stuff like that. And that's another thing, as far as illegals coming in, go through Texas and look at all the people working in the oil fields, especially driving trucks and stuff. How many of them don't even speak English? Straight up from Guatemala, Mexico, all these other countries. And you want to tell me they're all just here picking fruit? They're not taking good paying jobs. Well, Americans don't want to do these jobs, this and that and everything. You might be right. The youth today, whether they're white or black, of America, to some degree, do not want to do physical labor so much. But there's a good portion of us who've had no choice in our lives. That's what was around, and you needed a job. You took what you could get. And if you're not raising your child to understand, you got to do what you need to do to survive. Beggars can't be choosers, and you're not always going to get your own way and have the perfect job. You're not doing your kid any favors. It's just a fact. Not everybody is going to have that cushy, high-paying, no sweat, no dirt under your nails job. It just don't work that way, whether you're qualified or not. There's no shame in any honest work anyone does. So, I know there's a lot of, look at this scandal with these Hollywood people paying for their kids to go to these Ivy League schools and stuff. Why? Are you kidding me? You paid $500,000 to have your kids put on the rowing team of a school, and they don't even row? Just for what? Boot their ass out the door. Tell them to go get a job. I don't care if it's digging ditches or washing dishes. Let them see some real world experience. What are you doing to your kids? Doing that. I mean, yeah, hey, you got the money. Hey, why should your kid labor away? Well, the $500,000, why not start your kid in their own business? You won't need the Ivy League shit. I don't know what some of these people are thinking. But yeah, so there's a lot of youth and people of college age and stuff. Actually, I think they just don't want to work. Period. But they, hey, they don't want to go and get this job because it's not the kind of work they want to do. I went through that with my son for a little bit here. He's only 17. He doesn't want to do this or that and everything. Well, it's a job. If you can get it, you better go take it. No, nothing says you have to keep it for the rest of your life, but you need a job right now. They're hiring. Go put in an application. And he did. And so he went and did a job he didn't want to do. And he kind of liked parts of it. So, you got to kind of push him or boot him in the ass once in a while here and say, hey, get out there in the real world. you know, but a lot of the youth, and a lot of it's due to the parents' fault. They want to have their cake and eat it too. Oop, my finger's in the way there. So yeah, there's a lot of jobs. You know, youth. It's like the kid who wants to leave the family farm. You know, they don't want to toil away. They got no idea that, hey, guess what? You got to roll with the punches. Take what life gives you. And it's not always going to go your way. You can keep working towards your goal, but you got to start somewhere. Don't be so finicky and so picky and you know, I'm not going to do this or that. So anyway, and also if you want to cut out meat out of the diet of school children like that, like I said, first do it to the convicts, and then here's the second group you do it to. Everyone who is collecting welfare or has them EBT cards. When you go to the store, it's only vegetarian stuff. That's it. It's all you get to eat. It's vegetarian stuff. If you're going to a store on food stamps or EBT cards, anything like that, guess what? Vegetarian. That's it. So, there you go, Democrats. Get your heads out of your asses. Get out there in the real world. Let's look at some real solutions and not these grandiose, you know, trillions and trillion-dollar plans that the taxpayer is going to have to pay for to model the world into what you want or what you think. You know, just, it's unbelievable. You know, you got convicts getting better medical attention and food and everything, better than veterans and better than, you know, average working families, and they want to take a hamburger away from kids in school on Monday. Wake the hell up. Let's get our house in order, get some priorities straight here, and stop the, you know, all the pissy whiny shit for everything that you think is unfair to somebody. Oh, you can't treat somebody in prison that way. That's not right. I'm sorry. Didn't tell them to become a criminal, did we? What happened to having consequences for your actions? They get to go in there, they have free medical, dental, they get fed, they get their to lift weights all day and watch porno and all the other shit they do and everything. I'm sorry. And you want to take a hamburger away from kid in school? Get a life, man. What the hell is wrong with you? All right. That's my rant on those types of things there. And just to recap and, you know, at the beginning, go over that bit about the woman and the beast and the burning, you know, the beast became angry with the woman and burned her with fire and stuff. So whether that has anything to do with 9/11 or not, I don't know. Allah knows best, but it's something to think about. And whether it was Israel or some other conglomeration that did it, you ain't gonna tell me it was Bin Laden and them 19 guys pulled that off on their own. So it's one or the other. Either we were in on it, Israel was in on it, some other countries were in on it, but sorry, you just don't get in the seat of a Boeing aircraft and fly it like you're an ace, like Tom Cruise in Top Gun. Sorry, that's not happening. That's fantasy world too. So anyway, those are my thoughts on those things. Good luck to you all out there. Be safe, and we'll catch you next time. Remember, there's no greater thing you can say than there is no God but Allah, and Muhammad is his prophet. Peace be upon him and his family and followers. All right, out there, take care. Peace.